Hello and welcome. You're on Strat News Global. I'm Nitin Gokhale. Joining me today is a special guest in this special broadcast, Chairman of Defense Research and Development Organization or DRDO, the premier defense research and scientific organization supporting the Indian Armed Forces in general and of course working for the benefit of the country in various sectors. The chairman, of course, is Dr. Satheesh Reddy. Welcome to this program, Dr. Reddy.
Thank you.
In fact, let me start with last 1 year, what you have done for the COVID-19 mitigation. It's not exactly your mainstream job as far as DRDO is concerned, but I think DRDO stepped up to try and help the national effort. What are the issues that came up and what are the contributions that the DRDO made, if you can tell us?
Last year when the pandemic has erupted, Honorable Prime Minister actually constituted a group of secretaries in various committees. And as Secretary of Defense R&D, I was put in 2 committees. And the committee to look after all the necessary equipment. What you have a lot of spin-off technologies which can be used in the civilian purposes. Like we work on a lot of textile-related things, either for the parachutes or the CBRN suits or various other things. So that made us immediately develop lots of masks, then PPE suits, and then even sanitizers, varieties of sanitizers. We work on UV, so UV sanitizers we have worked, luggage scanners, and related to that, lots of equipment. When the empowered group has entrusted us to develop the state-of-the-art ventilator, and which is required for the pandemic.
Correct.
So the scientists have jumped into it, and then day and night they worked. Lots of components have been developed through industry here. Industry really geared up in a big way. In the pandemic scenario, when the employees are not coming to the office or factories, they could bring them back. They made them work day and night.
Right.
And the ventilators were produced in just about 2 months. 30,000 ventilators by Bharat Electronics Limited.
Sure.
And it's an ICU ventilator.
Correct.
So a lot of activities related to that have happened in the last year. There were more than about 75 products which have come, which have been given to about close to 150 industries as technologies, and which they produced in large numbers. See, the country which was producing about 45,000 PPEs in a year.
Before pandemic.
And came up to the extent of about 7 to 8 lakh PPEs
in a day. For the second wave, I think you stepped up much larger way in terms of oxygen concentrators.
Absolutely.
And others.
Basically, for the fighter aircraft Tejas, the DRDO laboratory has developed onboard oxygen generation system.
Right.
And this system is required for the pilots when they go for the higher altitudes. That technology has been transformed to make larger oxygen generation plants, like about 1,000 liters per minute sort of a thing. Right. And we established one in Tawang, high altitude area where oxygen is less.
Right.
So Honorable Prime Minister again, through PM CARES, said to produce in large numbers. Roping Industries, he took a review and directed us.
Sure.
Then immediately we brought in lots of bigger industry.
This particular segment time, what you did was this drug that you came up with.
Drug also we came up. The laboratory in Inmas, Delhi.
Nuclear Science Medicine.
They've been working on this particular drug, which is called 2DG.
Right.
And this has been developed by us in about 2002 or 2001. And in 2004 we have patented. And then it was given to an industry called Dr. Reddy's Laboratories in 2004. A technology was given for anti-radiation related effects. For that, it has been done, and clinical trials also were done around 2010. Then my scientist said, sir, the efficacy of this will be very good for this virus also. Then went ahead doing clinical trials, phase 2, phase 3. The results were very encouraging. So with all those results, we submitted to DCGI, and DCGI has given the approval to go ahead with mild to moderate patients as an adjuvant therapy. And then you have seen the way it has worked.
I know it's a lot of the demand was all over the place.
All over
People
the
were
place.
asking for it. Yes.
People were actually coming out in about 3 days out of these COVID virus effects and all that.
Right.
And a lot of things, a lot of doctors have prescribed. And of course, there was a shortage of the drug availability, and the industry tried to cope up. Now, what we have done is we have brought in lots of industries.
Other manufacturers.
Other manufacturing. We have already transferred the technology to 5 more industries.
Yeah, so in case there is a third wave, God forbid there should not be, but in case it comes, I think DRDO's contribution along with the health infrastructure and health sector would be tremendous as far as COVID mitigation is concerned. But let's move on from COVID mitigation. Let's get to your main job that DRDO does for the armed forces. Of late, you've done several things for the armed forces. Let's start with the bridging system, for instance. What is that that has been done?
See, the bridging system has been developed by a laboratory called R&D Engineers in Pune, and technology has been transferred to L&T. And wherever you have canals and other things, rivers and all that, you have varieties of bridges which have been developed, which actually can be carried by a BMP vehicle, and then you can lay it there within few minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, it is 5 meters, 10 meters, 20 meters, 45 meters,
Correct.
and even 75 meters
Right.
of bridges have been developed, which are lighter in weight, but at the same time they have a good load carrying capability. And L&T has come up with production capability. Recently, they have delivered 12 numbers, wherein the Chief of Army Staff and me flagged off these 12 moving into armed forces, and the production started. And so the armed forces have varieties of bridges based on the type of rivers or canals and requirements they have, they can use it.
Sure.
And armed forces from that particular EME group, it is one of the largest orders what they have placed, and industry is also geared up.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, of course, DRDO's one of the big strengths has been about missiles and rockets. Pinaka, recently you tested some enhanced range 122 mm Pinaka. How has that test gone, and what is it going to be in terms of productionization?
Basically, the range of the Pinaka has been enhanced. The Pinaka rocket has been there with the armed forces, which was earlier being produced by ordnance factories and then industry like L&T and Tata on the ground vehicles. Now, the range has been enhanced. The range can be about 45 plus kilometers, and that has been tested in Balasore very recently. Now we have roped in a private industry called Economic Explosives Limited, and they have started producing this also. And so large numbers are going to come in, and we'll be going soon for the user trials to give this enhanced range Pinaka.
Okay.
Then there is one more thing which has been brought in Pinaka is, we brought in a guided Pinaka. It means a rocket which is a simple ballistic rocket has been made as a more like a ballistic missile. So with the range of the rocket has been increased, and with the guidance kits, the accuracy of that also has been increased. This also has gone through the developmental trial.
It will have navigation?
It has got a navigation, guidance, control and everything. And there is an intelligent computer inside which works on it and control surfaces to take it. And so the range is enhanced. The accuracy is much, much better. And the developmental trials have been completed. Soon we should be going for the user trials, and then it gets into the armed forces.
But not just Indian Armed Forces, it's got huge export potential if I am not mistaken.
It will be having a very huge export potential. A lot of inquiries are coming for that. And I'm sure with the industries, multiple industries there in the picture, they should be able to supply it to the entire world.
Yeah. What about the progress on the attacks artillery guns? What are the testing? Where is it now? At what stage?
Firstly, attacks is the pride of the country, and in the 155 mm caliber guns, that is the world's longest range gun.
Yes.
And it is a different model for DRDO to work. Right from the day one, the industries were involved. Both Bharat Forge Limited and Tata were involved. They were partners in the development. And so both the people have fielded their guns. The winter trials have been conducted successfully in the winter at very cold regions. And now the summer trials are just starting now. And I'm very hopeful that the trials will go successfully and the gun gets inducted into the armed forces now.
Correct. It's a matter of time
It's a
before
matter
it
of time.
comes.
It's a matter of time.
That's right. Then, of course, the world over, there was a lot of curiosity about the Agni P that got tested in Balasore recently. What is it? It's a different family, or it's the same Agni series?
It's one of the Agni series missiles with many more technologies, a lot of optimization which has been brought in.
Right.
A lot of new technologies have been incorporated and try to miniaturize most of the things. And so I can say it's slightly a new generation in the Agni series, and which, as you know, that we have conducted the trial recently, and which was very successful mission, proving all these technologies what have been incorporated.
And these are all indigenous
Absolutely,
technology.
everything
They're
is
all Indian innovators, industry, everybody.
Absolutely, industry is fully geared up, and we have complete confidence in these systems. Let me make one statement here. See, we are actually self-reliant today completely in missiles, radars, sonars,
Yes.
torpedoes, electronic warfare systems,
Correct.
AWACS systems,
Yes.
guns, tanks, and aircrafts.
Absolutely.
So these are all the things.
So the entire range is
entire range is
self-sufficient.
self-contained.
This is one of the biggest successes, Akash.
Yes.
So,
So Akash is a big success. It is there with both Army and Air Force.
Yes.
And the new generation Akash is also being developed now, and that also will be going into the armed forces. And SAMs, actually varieties of SAMs have been developed. You know, the quick reaction surface to air missile, then medium range surface to air missile is also developed. So there are series of surface to air missiles which have been
that's you have done, yeah. Even BrahMos has been, there have been varieties, and you're also testing it with Air Force, you're testing it with the Army. What is that? That Python, there was one more test that you had done with Tejas, I think.
BrahMos basically, it has gone into all the three services,
Right.
Army, Air Force, and Navy. The air version of the BrahMos also has been successfully tested, and so Navy has been using it, and against ships, against land targets, and all that. And we are also actually working on enhancing the range also. And so BrahMos is one of the very successful ventures what we had, and rather that is the first international cooperation
Joint venture with Russia,
which has been done, and a supersonic cruise missile.
Right.
And as far as the LCA is concerned, we are trying number of weapons on the LCA. A lot of weapons which are already existing with the Air Force, and the weapons which we have, like Astra, air-to-air missile, and some of the like smart anti-airfield weapon, guided bomb. These are all the things which we are trying on LCA. That's a continuous process which is going on. One by one weapon, you integrate it and test it and all that. That's going on well, and HL has been fully geared up, and they should be starting the production as early as possible and try to produce the numbers, 83 numbers order which the government
has been
given.
Placed, yes. But the next step in the aircraft development would be perhaps Tejas Mark II or AMCA.
We have both the Tejas Mark II, which is going on well. It's a bigger vehicle compared to Mark I. Mark I is a lighter one, and this is a higher weight class LCA Mark II. The work of the LCA Mark II is going on well. And then the advanced medium combat aircraft, which is the 5.5 generation aircraft. The work of it is also going on, and the design phase has been already sanctioned by the government. The work is going on very seriously. The scientists are working on the core technologies which are required for this type of a fifth generation aircraft.
Right.
Those technologies are being developed by the scientists in a big way now.
I see. What about the engine? Because that has always been an issue. So what are we looking at as far as engines are concerned?
See, basically one thing is that the GTRE, the laboratory which is there in Bangalore, which has been working on the engines, which has developed actually the Kaveri engine for Tejas. But as the engine was evolving, the aircraft was
also evolved, yes.
And so when the engine got developed, it
There was a
fell
mismatch.
short of, there was a mismatch. And so, but then the Kaveri dry engine we are trying to use in our other applications, which is as a 47 kilonewtons engine.
Right.
Then the offshoot of it, a smaller engine, 4.5 kilonewtons engine. We are trying to use it in Nirbhai, which we should be going for a flight trial very soon on Nirbhai.
Okay.
So varieties of engines are being developed. But at the same time, the engine what is required for AMCA is a higher class engine, about higher power. And so there we are trying to look for international tie-up with engine houses outside
Various
the country,
engine houses,
and try to work with them to make this next class of engine.
Right. We've spoken about a year ago about transfer of technology to industry, and how so many technologies have been transferred. Now, have you taken an audit about after transfer of technology, how many of them have been able to productionize it and satisfy the armed forces in a way? Because your job mainly is to develop technology and then transfer it. How is the cooperation between the industry and the DRDO and the armed forces, the three-way cooperation? How is it working?
I say that it is going on reasonably well. Firstly, most of the people who have taken the technology transfer are able to produce and supply. Some of them for the civilian application also. That, of course, they are in full swing going on.
Right.
Coming to the armed forces, whatever the technologies, what we are offering to the industry is the one which has the potential to get deployed in the armed forces. So, most of the things, leaving aside the process time, what is required in placing the orders and all that. So those systems also what we have transferred to the industry are also getting inducted to armed forces. It only depends a couple of times we may have to give technology transfer to more than one industry.
Sure.
Then when the process of selection and the quantities are limited or something like that, maybe one industry gets the production order. This is one thing. Now, we have also started transferring the critical technologies to private industries also. Like earlier missiles and bombs, we were only going to DPSUs. Now we started offering it to the private industries.
Sure.
So we have already started giving the missiles technology and even the guided bombs technology to the private industries.
Sector, yeah.
So the private sector is also getting a lot into the private into these. Instead of a subsystem or a system manufacturer, the overall
platform,
they are able to come into the thing. And we have brought in a new scheme called DCPP, Development Cum Production Partner.
I see.
See, previously what we used to do is we
Develop
the project,
yes.
you develop it and you do the developmental trials, and then you do the user trials.
Right.
That time you transfer the technology to the
the
industry.
production industry.
Now what we are doing is right at the beginning of the development, we are involving the industry so that they gain the knowledge fully.
Sure. And then
automatic technology transfer happens. And even the first of even the prototype onwards, the models which come are from the industry.
Right.
So we are trying to reduce the number of trials also required. In fact, in the new defense acquisition procedure, we have brought in a scheme where there will be a single integrated trial, wherein users, the production agency, designers, the quality assurance agency,
everyone will be together.
Everyone will be together. And there will be a PMT, which will be there, a project
management team.
And who will actually will be continuously there looking into everything and take decisions also immediately.
Right.
So this is an integrated approach has been brought in here, which actually reduces the timelines of induction.
Exactly. You're also looking at one or two final questions. Drones and anti-drone systems. I heard you saying somewhere that we are ready with the anti-drone systems, and the drones of course are there. Just tell us a little more about that.
We've been working on the anti-drone technology. And in fact, last year, 2020 Republic Day, and then Independence Day, and 2021 Republic Day, we have actually deployed our system in New Delhi.
Right.
And we have also demonstrated to the users. And now, particularly about 10 days back after the incident here, we have actually integrated all these things on a vehicle. And in Kolar near Bangalore, we have actually demonstrated the capabilities to all the armed forces and security agencies.
I see.
Basically, it has a radar which actually tracks them.
Sure.
And then there is an electro-optical system also, which actually tracks these targets. And then there is a soft kill
and
mechanism.
a hard kill option.
Hard kill also. Both are there. This is an integrated system which has been developed by DRDO. Technology has already been given to Bharat Electronics Limited. And we are also giving the technology to industries. In fact, the TOT agreements have been signed and people are actually geared up to take the technology now. The L&T, the Tata and Bharat Forge.
Right.
have already come into picture. Adani, sorry,
Adani,
not
yes, right.
Bharat Forge. They have also come in and they taking the technology, and a lot more also showing their interest.
So you also issued some expression of interest recently.
Absolutely. Based on that only these people have come forward, and we have already signed the LATOT agreement with them, and I think they should be able to produce in large numbers.
And that requirement will be high going forward.
Absolutely.
That is how. One final question. You've just recently launched, I saw or read, MTech program for through DRDO. How does that work?
Oh, this is an important thing, wherein actually the skill set to be developed in the defense technologies in the country. First, we started in Gujarat University, some courses there, and also IIT RAM there in Gandhinagar last year. After that, last 1 year, we've been working with AICTE to bring in the courses in both MTech and BTech program.
Right.
Out of the pandemic, it got delayed. Now this year, AICT and we announced the MTech program, where in fact retired DRDO scientists will be even teaching faculty. And in fact, the syllabus has been worked out by them. So various subjects have been worked out for the MTech program. And lots of colleges have shown interest, and they're all taking up this program, MTech program. Even BTech, we will be having some electives also in this subject. So this MTech program, even if about 30-40 colleges, universities in the country come up, and so you will have
a ready-made
pipeline with skill set available with this.
That's right.
So I'm very thankful to Ministry of Higher Education and AICTE for cooperating and then taking up this MTech program forward in defense technologies, which will be very useful.
So clearly DRDO has its plate full, and the entire spectrum that you're working from mitigating the pandemic COVID-19 and to right up to the highest technology or most critical technology like missiles. I think your work is cut out, but wonderful work has been happening in DRDO. We must thank you for leading the team and wish you good luck in future endeavors.
Thank you very much. It's the guidance from the leadership of the country, and then the dedicated hard work of the scientists, which is actually making, and we need to do a lot more.
Absolutely. To make ourselves self-sufficient in defense, I think.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.